Welcome back to the Mind Hiking Podcast. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and if you're struggling, come on in, have a seat. You want a chocolate milk? We love chocolate milk here, by the way. Got another deep, vulnerable one for you guys. Brody Frye's being vulnerable on the podcast again, so another one of those. If you are going through a lot right now, this episode may help. So, got my thoughts and opinions on some of that. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you guys are enjoying what I'm doing here, please share it with a friend, like it, follow the podcast. It really helps. I really appreciate it. And with that said, stay tuned. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. What's up, everybody? Today's episode is kind of going to be like a corn maze, a good fall theme, I guess, here. We're going to see where this ends up. Walk into the entrance of the maze and walking into the unknown, I suppose. I know I'm not the only one that in life things don't work out the way that you plan, and I guess that's kind of the beauty of it, but I feel like the key is persistence. So that's kind of where I want to go with this episode. Struggle in life is inevitable, and there's so much unknown, so much chaos. Everybody in life around you, every individual person that you see or encounter or interact with is all trying to make things happen, as are you. And if you don't have plans, or if you don't have a direction or anything, you're still making things happen with your choices. So everybody's making things happen all around you, even if it's like on a molecular level, where just walking through a grocery store or moving around, just pushing oxygen molecules and things like that, just is creating change and chaos. And so whether or not it's more structured than others, every single person is still creating change and chaos. And it's tough sometimes it's overwhelming, and sometimes you feel lost because we're all trying to make things happen. We all have dreams and goals and objectives and plans and things that we want done, things that we expectations in our lives. And we're all just trying to sometimes work against like all this chaos, everything that's happening around us. We're all just like trying to force things to happen, and sometimes it feels like nothing's working out. Sometimes so much is happening, but like a lot of times I feel like I am working as hard as I possibly can to make all this stuff happen that I'm trying to make happen, and I feel like I'm swimming against the current, running against the wind, pushing against, sometimes it seems like everything that happens is against you. Like you're working against something, like everything's trying to force you to go the other way. And it's really easy to just like give up and be like, fuck this, and just let the current take you back. And it's really overwhelming, especially when you're given a lot of information, and And I guess this can go with life and kind of for more of a mental state where I find this kind of common issue when, like I've talked about before, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I've been getting into a lot of different podcasts as well, but audiobooks, I love them, and there's so much information. And in your subconscious and your brain can pick up on more information than your conscious self can. And you can listen to audiobooks a lot quicker than you think you can, because most of our language is just filler words. Like, there's an example, like when I say like, or the, it, as, all these little tiny filler words, they're not necessary. The point of a sentence is to get a message across, and all that does is refine it. All it is just like the resolution of language is sharper when you use these tiny words because it clarifies specific things, but the general message is what you're looking for, and that's all your subconscious needs. So when I'm listening to audiobooks, I listen to like 1.75 speed, or even sometimes, depending on the narrator of the audiobook, sometimes narrators speak slower. I can kick it up to double speed, and I can, that's a big part of how I can, hammer through books, which is another reason why I like to listen over again and do it multiple times. But you can get the message more efficiently that way. I love efficiency, and you can get the message across more efficient that way. So I like to listen on a faster speed. But when I'm hammering through books, I mean, if I'm listening on double speed like that, some days are good days where I can literally just plug my earbuds in and just listen all day long. And if I'm working like a 9-hour day or something like that, and I can hammer through, say I got like a few 4-hour books, but I'm listening on double speed, I can do like multiple I'm hammering these 4-hour books out in 2 hours, and next thing you know, I got 4 or 5 books. Sometimes I think probably my biggest day is like a 5-book day, but I can do like 4 to 5 books in a day like that. And which is definitely, when I'm doing that, I try to keep them all in the same genre, because you don't want to you can really overwhelm yourself quick if you're listening to like personal development and then like finance, and then you're listening to whatever, if you're bouncing around, it's then it gets overwhelming. You got to let your body digest that, your mind digest that, which is kind of where I'm getting to. So when I do that, I listen to the same genre of books, and then get the message. But when I do that, I find that I can get overwhelmed with that kind of chaos. So sometimes I like to take a couple days, sometimes even a week off, and just like, not even music. I don't really listen to music. When in my headset, I don't listen to music, but like if the shop's playing music or whatever, like I'll just leave my headset out and just recover and digest everything. If I have a big book week or something like that, if I listen to a lot of stuff, and that's just a short example, but another, applying that to life, you're always taking in information, whether it be from audiobooks or whether it be going somewhere with your life, or all the dramas and stresses of work and trying to figure out your life and plan for the future, and go about your day and still trying to enjoy your life, planning things, events, whatever it is you're doing, and seeing friends, seeing family, getting projects done, taking care of the house, doing whatever, planning for work, planning for lunches, planning for dinners, doing all the chores, all this stuff is, and like, it gets overwhelming, and sometimes it feels like you're on double speed and trying to get all this stuff done. And sometimes it feels like it's literally work, 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 come home, work, 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 brush your teeth and go to bed. And it's really overwhelming. And it's important to let your mind digest everything. You need and obviously because I'm saying this is how I'm feeling right now, and I'm finding that it's important for me to make sure that I give myself time to digest all the information I've been taking in. A lot's happening, personal life and work life, and it's just important. A lot of these messages I'm trying to relay to you guys on the podcast are things that I'm experiencing, and it's good to do it this way because I can in the moment express problems and how I think best to resolve them. And it's crucial to find time for yourself. And it's okay if you want to fill that in with like mindless things, like, for example, call me crazy. I mean, I guess some people might think that this is going to cause more overwhelming drama or whatever, but I love projects. I love working on things, and for me it's mindless. And just like we all know how much I love puzzles, and so I'm feeling super overwhelmed or stressed out or whatever. And the other day I was like just so needed to breathe, take a break, overwhelmed, and just couldn't find a way out or see a way out. And I'm like, I just need me time. So I just went out to the garage and I got a weed whacker that was free because it doesn't run. And I still didn't know what was wrong with it, and I still don't know what's wrong with it, but and I didn't really care to find out. I just went in there and just started unscrewing every screw and nut and everything. I literally took that thing down. I just took the motor out and ripped the motor apart. And that, for me, that was mindless. It was just like finding every nut and bolt and screw that I possibly can to take this thing into as many pieces as I possibly can is mindless. And it's like meditative. It's soothing to be able to do that. And it's actually really cool. It's just this adorable little motor. The piston is just a tiny little thing. It's awesome. It's just a cute little motor, and it's super easy to take apart though, which made it that much more like meditative, I guess. It was just an adorable little Craftsman 32cc motor, and that it's just important to digest. It's like eating a huge meal. Sorry, there might be a little break there because I just had to sneeze and I clipped it. But it's like eating a huge meal right before bed and then just going to bed and just sitting there and just like you go to sleep. But like, especially if it's something like thick and heavy, like pasta or something like that, you're just sitting in your gut as you fall asleep. Because for proper digestion, it's super important that you move around, because it's not just that like your stomach acids. It's like you have, say, a ball of Play-Doh is like a ball of pasta in your stomach, and you like drop it into some like acetone or something like that, and it just like chews it apart. But how long does it take to get to the center? Like, it's just got to eat through the outer surface. So that's why it's super important to be active, at least an hour after you eat, just because then you're moving your body and the food in your stomach is just like slapping the walls, the lining of your stomach, creating surface area. It's just like moving it around, creating surface area for proper digestion. So, side note, but that's why you don't want to you don't want to eat a huge meal and then pass out, because that's going to upset your stomach and not create proper digestion. And same goes for information. You want to take it all in, and I'm a huge victim to this because I like to go and do as much as I can, and efficiency is key, and trying to take in as much as I can. Don't waste time. You don't need to digest, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, I hit a wall. I hit my breaking point, and I just can't do it anymore. And I just need my time. And I like, whether I decide it or not, whether I decide it or my subconscious is like, Brody, you're done. And I just shut down. And then I'm forced to go have me time. Sometimes I like lock down where I don't even get me time. My body and my mind are like, you're done, powering off. And I sit there in silence. And next thing you know, an hour, 2 hours is not uncommon to just sit there, with nothing, no phone or anything, just sit there staring, processing, digesting, just mulling over all this information that I've been taking in, and not even figuring out a plan or a way out, just chewing through it, just to process what's actually happening, not even finding a way out, just trying to process what's all going on. And that happens pretty often, but that's, same with digestion. It's just not good. That's going to upset your soul if you don't digest this stuff properly. So it's important to find time for yourself to do something mindless. Find what you enjoy to do, but something that you know very well, and you can just do it mindlessly. And whether that be like working on motors or gardening, or like, that's something that growing up, I used to love to do. And like, we'd go out to the garden and like weed the garden, just like pulling weeds around all the vegetables and stuff like that. And countless hours doing that. Digging potatoes, I've talked about it. Love doing that. But anything, I mean, it could literally be anything. You could go for a bike ride or a hike or whatever. So much stuff you could do. Sometimes, and Katie can verify this, but cleaning, like I just, when I'm overwhelmed, it's like organizing my exterior life helps me to organize my interior life, where I look around me and I see chaos, and as I start organizing, cleaning the countertops and putting things back in their place, vacuuming, folding all the laundry, folding all the blankets on the couch, and just like creating organization in this chaotic environment helps me organize clutter in my mind. It's like seeing things become organized in the exterior helps me organize on the interior. And it's like, it's a reflection around you. You're reflecting. And so for me, like, I love organizing and cleaning and stuff like that. And it helps me to, like, when I start, like, Katie always knows something's going on if I'm on a cleaning kick and, not talking, and I'm just cleaning. Next thing, I get done with something and I'm on to the next thing, cleaning. And so things like that. But make sure you find something for yourself. You gotta digest all this chaos. Life is challenging, and it's not always gonna work out the way you plan. And when stuff like that happens, when hiccups or speed bumps or things happen, you got to let it digest. And especially when you get hit with a lot at once, it's important to digest all that. And otherwise, your subconscious will probably force you to, because you gotta get it down somehow, and you can't get it all this information through your system without digesting it. So it's gonna happen sooner or later. It's whether or not you choose to make the process a little smoother by doing it yourself, or whether your body forces you to do it. It's gonna happen. But kind of along this topic too is things not working out the way that you plan, and feeling lost, or feeling like, what's the point kind of thing. And you try so hard, and things just aren't happening the way you want, or the way you see, or the way you've been hoping for, or working so hard, or seems like you know, the whole 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or 3 steps back, or whatever. I mean, 100 steps back. It's just like, sometimes it feels like it's like your efforts are pointless. And I feel that way a lot. Like, I feel like I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like you're trying to create this beautiful sculpture of life, and you got your block of marble and your hammer and chisel, and you start chiseling away at it, and you're so focused on the minute details that you're sitting there chipping away at it with the hammer and chisel. And then all of a sudden you finally find time to like step back and look at what you're doing, and it seems like material got added, and you're like, what the fuck? And you look at your chisel and you're like, what the hell? And then it seems like it's like a marble like injector that's just adding material instead of chiseling away material, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, there's more work here than when I started. And it's just like that seems to happen for me all the time, where like you're working, and then you finally get a chance to step back, and it's like, it seems like there's more to do than when you started. And sometimes that has to do with you not stepping back far enough, because it is, it's tough. There's a saying that a buddy of mine, Sam, always says at work, and it's tough to see the forest through the trees. And it's basically, when you're submersed in something, it's tough to see the bigger picture. And when you're so focused on details and you think you zoom out, you're not really zooming out enough. Because we're all so focused and like put into our lives, and it is challenging to take a step back and see what you're really doing, kind of thing. And a lot of times it seems like you're moving backwards, or you're not making any progress. And but you're always moving forward. It's just a very overwhelming life, and it's really easy to feel stuck. I feel stuck all the time. I feel like I'm not making any progress, especially with my obsession with efficiency and getting things done. And it's a huge struggle. And the more I think on that, like, it's just, I feel like, where am I going with everything? Like, what is the point of continuing with everything? And the more I think about it, I have these big goals, ambitious goals and dreams, and sometimes I feel like they're so impossible. Like, they're so far out of the way that it's like, why should I even bother Like, that's so far out of the way. Why do I even... Sometimes I feel like it's a curse to have these goals and dreams inside of me, where it's like, why do I have to want that? Why do I have to desire that? Why do I have to crave that? Of all the things I could do with my life, of all the things that I could reach or achieve in my life, why do I have this desire to do this? Why do I have this desire to have or be or become this? Like, why do I need this? And sometimes I think that's a curse. Like, it's frustrating to me, like, but I can't deny it either. So, like, I see it as a part of me. And I have tried to be like, no, that's unrealistic. And those are the people that are dead. Those are the people that suppress themselves. Some people force that, like, nope, that's not happening. Be realistic. And those are the people that are dead. The ones that stopped climbing are dead. They smothered their souls. They suffocated them and themselves. So I feel like it's better to keep climbing than to suffocate yourself. So, because you're still moving forward that way, at least. And I guess that's kind of the first point, why. And eventually it'll happen, or you'll be much closer than you thought you'd ever get, which is still better than suffocation. But I do really feel like sometimes my dreams and goals are a curse. Like, I'm chasing a moving target that's moving just as fast as I am or faster. So it's like as if it's never going to happen. But I got to keep going. I got to keep chasing. And I really believe that those desires and goals and dreams were put in my head for a reason. I don't think that it was me that decided these things, because if I really try to, like, force myself to not want that or ask myself why, I really believe it's not me that put these goals and desires and dreams in my mind. I believe that it's inevitable that I'll achieve what I desire as long as I keep moving and I don't suffocate myself or put myself down or anything like that. And with that mindset, it does provide some more fuel and the proper attitude for achieving and being persistent. And persistency is definitely a major key for achieving your goals. And at the very least, living a hopeful life is better than living a life of suffering and misery. Hoping and still striving, and then looking back and knowing, like, you worked hard and you got this far with the fuel of hope. That's much better than sulking and saying it's never going to happen and suffering and living a life of suffering because you're talking yourself down, saying this is never going to happen, versus being hopeful and being excited for the future. That's a much better life, even if you never achieve it. I'd much rather live a hopeful, excited life than sulk and suffer because I've already decided I could never do that. And if there's another human being in this world that's doing what you want to do, then it's possible, because that's just another human being. Doesn't matter where you start. I mean, we're literally all human beings, and you can put yourself wherever you want and you can achieve anything you want, especially if another example has done it. Another human being has done it. You are absolutely capable of it. So, persistence. Work hard, be persistent, have the right attitude, and know at the very least you're still moving forward. But give yourself that time to digest it all, because that's gonna that's going to help you out much more than you think. That's going to help you out leaps and bounds in the long run. Just clearing yourself out, because then you come back so much more refreshed after you digest it all. Like, think about not letting yourself digest it and then trying to take in more information. Like, you got a full stomach trying to eat a plate. Like, your goal and dream is to finish your plate of food, and you already have a full stomach and you're trying to eat more, rather than, like, if you tried to eat a monstrous plate throughout the whole night, that's probably going to take you longer, especially because you're probably going to puke, than if you eat what you can and then go take a nap or go sleep for the night. And then you wake up in the morning and you're starving again. You're starving for more life. You're craving getting back at it. You're rejuvenated, and then you dive into that plate and you just eat a huge chunk. That's like life. You got to let all the information digest, and then you can get back at it hard, and you feel so much better about it and excited about it, rather than slaving away, and then you get resentful of your own hopes and dreams, which causes burnout, and that is a killer. So that is all I got for you guys today. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys listening. Again, if you guys are liking what I'm doing here, if you guys like any of these episodes, please share them with your friends. I'm seeing my followers go up every week, and I really appreciate it. It's awesome. So if you like them, share them. Please follow the podcast, and don't be afraid to go back and listen to some of your old favorite episodes too. That's awesome. I love hearing when people go back and replay episodes, and it's so cool. I love doing this. So thank you guys for tuning in, and you guys have a great rest of your week, and let yourself digest and get back at it hard. Rock on, guys. Peace.